guys, welcome to Vlogmas Day 9. Today I'm going through my Goodreads TBR, or my Goodreads want to read, and kind of decluttering it. I have 163 books sitting in there. I think I made my Goodreads like June of last year. I definitely read books before then, but I didn't know about Goodreads at all. I remember seeing people posting about, or like posting screenshots from Goodreads, and I was like, what is that? That's incredible. And then I got Goodreads and I was like, it's really not that incredible. I feel like this website is still set back in 2014. Let's go through all the books that I have on here, declutter it. A Flicker in the Dark. Goodbye. Neon Gods by Katie Robert. It's not that I don't want to read that book, it's just that I don't. Six of Crows. I don't think I'm ever going to read that book. I also don't think I'm ever going to read the Shadow and Bone series. Actually, I did just sell my Shadow and Bone series that I bought a few years ago because I was like, I still haven't read it. I'm never going to read it. I sold it on Pango Books. Yikes. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Song of Achilles. If we're being honest, I don't actually think I'm going to read that, but I am going to keep it on there. Shadow and Bone. Bye. Goodbye. Adios. See you never. The Crown of Gilded Bones. It's funny that I put the third book in the From Blood and Ash series on here and the fourth book because I DNF'd the second book. I tried to read it last December actually. While I loved From Blood and Ash, the first book, I gave it like 4.5 stars. I genuinely thought it was so good. I felt like the second one was way too repetitive and it just didn't work for me. I will say, if you liked the first book and you are someone who tends to like repetitive natures in series, then give it a shot, because there's a lot of people who were like, I absolutely loved the fact that it was repetitive. Like, it kind of just like scratched an itch in their brain, and they liked it was like watching a comfort show for them. You could just watch it over and over and over again. That didn't work for me. I'm gonna keep the Inheritance Games on here. These Violent Delights. The Dead Romantics. I don't see myself ever reading this book. Every Summer After. Does this book have the cheating trope in it? I could be completely wrong. Didn't this author come out with another book earlier this year? It was the pink cover, right? I don't think I'm crazy. I think it was this one. I heard from a little birdie Every Summer After has the cheating trope in it. And I think the new one does too. I could be completely wrong, but with that thought in my head, I don't think I can get into it. I'm glad my mom died. I know this is gonna be a good read. I have no interest in reading it. I'm not a memoir person though. Priory of the Orange Tree. This book is long gone, I sold it. Sharp Objects. I believe that's the same author who wrote Gone Girl. We can take that off. I don't think I would like Magnolia Parks, but people have told me over and over again that I might like the second one, because I believe they're the same timeline, different POV. I'll keep Daisy Hates on here. I'll do it, don't worry. Satan's Affair. This is about Sibby. Is this about Sibby? Bad Intentions. I have no clue what that is. And that's okay, but we're gonna take you off. I feel good about that. A Merry Little Meet Cute. Actually, all of these Christmas books, I'm taking them all off. Dying in a Winter Wonderland. Let's actually go read what this is about. I think a friend of a friend recommended this book to me last year. In the town of Rudolph, New York, the Christmas season should make spirits bright, but as the year comes to an end, so does a life. Oh my gosh. In the 5th installment of this charming, cozy mystery series, Christmas has arrived in Rudolph, New York, and Mary Wilkinson is looking forward to a much-needed rest. But before that can happen, Luann Ireland, what are these names? Walks through her door. Luann has asked Mary to help make decorations for her wedding, but has suddenly moved the wedding months earlier and is now demanding that everyone follow her lead regardless of the cost. But that cost is much higher than anyone anticipated when Luann's fiance is found murdered at their proposed wedding venue. I'm keeping this. The Perfect Marriage. Keep. I've actually read the first 2 chapters of this book. I need to get back to it. The Do-Over. Nah. King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. I know they're by Leigh Bardugo. I have no idea what the series is or how it is related to any of her other books. Oh, it's a part of the Grishaverse. I'm gonna take her off because I don't see myself having any actual interest in reading that anytime soon. And this is a cleanse, okay? The Atlas Paradox. Why the hell is the second on here, but not the first? We're taking her off. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I'm gonna take that book off, not because I don't want to read it, but because A Darker Shade of Magic is right under it and I own that one, so I want to just have one V.E. Schwab book on here so it doesn't feel as daunting. Here's the thing, I never look at this Goodreads want to reads because it's been so daunting for the past year to look at it. American Queen by Sierra Simone. I'm taking that off simply because I still need to read Sinner by Sierra Simone. Book of Night by, I'm gonna keep The Poppy War on here because I would like to read that book. The Virgin Suicides, girl, by Scarlet Princess. Considering I have no recollection of what this book is, by The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert. Welcome to the Dark Side by Gianna Darling. The Fallen Men, that's number 2. What? Absolutely fucking not. Why did I add this? I'm reading what it's about. I'm under the impression, after reading the summary, that this is an age gap romance and he knew her while she was a child. I can't do that. That does not work for me. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. If I am wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments of this video. That's the impression I got. That type of age gap creeps me out personally. Pack Up the Moon. Well, considering I just sold this book 2 days ago and sent it out to the buyer, we're gonna go ahead and remove that. So basically, right here, I'm gonna remove every book but Lapvona, and I think I'm pronouncing it. So yeah, I do know The Way I Used to Be is supposed to be a very sad book. I think it's YA, and I heard it made a lot of people cry. If I'm thinking of the right book, then yes, it did. The Prison Healer, I think that might be a book Sarah really likes. Guild. I'm gonna keep that on here just because recently I've heard a lot about the Plated Prisoner series. I don't know anything about it, just that it's good. A Dawn of Onyx. Who are you? What are you? Actually, wait, I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of these. If I remove a book sometime today and you're like, Heather, absolutely not, you need to read that, tell me, please. 6 pages and we're on page 1. So I'm also gonna remove those as well. Mothering, that has a really cool cover, so I'm gonna keep it on there. Death in Her Hands, I'm gonna keep that on there, and Homesick for Another World. I think those are just fiction books. They just have really cool covers. I'm gonna leave Sometimes I Lie on here because I've been wanting to read an Alice Feeney book, but I'm gonna remove The Push. I don't remember what that's about. Local Woman Missing, I'm gonna leave that. Rebels. Rebels is the book that was written by Kendall and Kylie Jenner. Should I keep it on here? No. No. I think I'm also going to go ahead and remove All the Light We Cannot See and His Savior. The Nanny, Tara DeWitt bought The Nanny for me and mailed it to me, and then they lost it in the mail. And I've yet to hear back about that. So I'm going to keep it on here because I would like to read that. I'm removing all of these, except for Caraval, because I do have Caraval over there. Scandalized. Unhinged. Lord of the Fading Lands. I don't know a single, these books are foreign to me. I don't know what they are, so I'm gonna remove them. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I would like to read that eventually. The Naturals, also would like to read that. I think that's kind of a YA Criminal Minds-y type book. I've heard really, really good things about it. 6 Summers to Fall, leaving that on there. Someone recommended me this book on Instagram. Lifeline, Ace to, okay. These were all recommended to me when I was asking people, oh, what was the type I was asking? I was asking for a specific trope type of, or like a specific type of man. Or maybe I was asking for books that gave me vibes of the Mindfuck series. So I think that was these. These all look like dark romances. I'm gonna keep all of these on there because if any of those are on Kindle Unlimited, when I get back in my trashy romance phase, those will probably be included. Thorn Princess, LJ Shin. I haven't read any LJ Shin books, so I'm gonna leave that one on there. None Shall Sleep, I'm gonna remove her. I think that's a murder mystery, but I have no idea. Yeah, these must have been recommendations I got when I asked for books similar to the Mindfuck series. I'm gonna leave them on there. Luxuria, Shades of Sin series, Death's Obsession, Born Darkly. I think I'm just gonna keep them. Like, those just look kind of fun. Offside, I'm gonna remove that. I haven't been into sports romances, and it says Rules of the Game, so I'm assuming it's a sports romance. Already Falling, I actually own this book. I would like to read that. The Life List. Someone recommended me this book, and they had a lot of good things to say about it, so I'm gonna keep it on there. I am gonna say, however, the cover is not intriguing in any way, shape, or form to me, but I'm like gonna leave it on. 19 Claws and a Blackbird. This is the same author that wrote Tender is the Flesh. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on there. The cover, stunning. The author, love her writing. Disgrace. Oh wait. No, I haven't been into like flings. Like, if they start out as a fling, that has not been working for me for some reason. The Arrangement, I want to say that's a thriller book. I was looking for authors that were similar to Freida McFadden, and someone recommended me this back in August. I still have not read it, but I'm gonna keep it on there. You Shouldn't Have Come Here. I'm gonna leave it. The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I am gonna leave it on there, but I am gonna remove Part of Your World because I don't really have any interest in reading that. I know I will probably in the future because I do really like Abby Jimenez's writing, but I'm just gonna leave one on there for now. Funny Story, remove, kidding, keep. Bound by Honor. Listen, I'm just gonna remove that because I have tried to read that book multiple times. Like, I've downloaded it multiple times, and I never have read it, so. Mickey Chambers Shakes It Up. I actually started the audiobook for this back in November, and then I got distracted by another book, but I do want to read this. And the audio so far was like, it was really good. 4 months, 3 words. That's a football romance. I'm gonna remove, no, I'm gonna keep it because someone recommended me this on Instagram. Same with Under the Whispering Door. Tastes Like Shakar. I want to read that book. Heated Rivalry. The Beginning. The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic. I'm gonna remove all 3 of those. Morally Corrupt. Keeping it. She's a sociopath. We're keeping it. I find that so fascinating. Started Stay With Me, and the FMC has like sociopathic tendencies, and I don't know why. I love reading about that. Breath Mints and Battle Scars. This is a Hermione and Draco Malfoy fan fiction. Slashers and Secrets. I'm gonna keep it. I kind of really like the title of that book. A Winter's Promise. Gonna keep it because I think the book is adorable, and every time I see it in Barnes & Noble, I'm like, maybe one day. Shattered Secrets. Why Trey Let Me Get Away. Fall Into You. King of Greed. Lovely Bad Things. Okay. I'm going to remove Why Trey... No. I'm going to remove Fall Into You. It's not fall anymore. I am also going to remove King of Greed because the more I think about it, the more I don't really want to read that book. I don't know why, and that's so sad because I loved the Twisted series. And I thought I would maybe give it a shot, and then I think I changed my mind, and that happened. Sinners Anonymous, I don't think I'm ever going to read that because I heard that was a ripoff of another Mafia series that I read. What was the name of the series? The Maid series or something, so I'm just going to remove that. Pretty Little Mistake. What are you? Who are you? We have Belladonna on here. We have Murder on the Christmas Express. You guys probably heard me talk about Murder on the Christmas Express in my end of the year TBR. The thing is, after I posted about wanting to read that book, I have heard nothing but the worst things about it. I even returned the book because I heard absolutely nothing but horrific things about it. So normally I won't let bad reviews deter me, but when I get an abundance of bad reviews, sometimes I'm like, man, I don't think it's worth my time. Especially if I get an abundance of bad reviews by other readers that I know and really respect their opinions. The Book of Azrael. I would like to read that one day. Diana Quincy, we're keeping these books on there. They're romance books. I would like to read them. Evil Eye. I actually have this book coming in the mail in a week, I think it's coming. Keeping that. Kiss Me in New York. I'm gonna keep it on there. Kind of gives me young adult chick flick vibes. Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter is a thriller mystery. I think where all of this group of people gets stranded and they end up hold on, let me read what it's about so I can explain it better to you. When Krista joins a tour group heading deep into the snowy expanse of the Rocky Mountains, she's hopeful this will be her chance to put the ghost of her past to rest. But when a bitterly cold snowstorm sweeps the region, the small group is forced to take shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin. Despite the uncomfortably claustrophobic quarters and rapidly dropping temperature, Krista believes they'll be safe as they wait out the storm. She couldn't be more wrong. Deep in the night, their tour guide goes missing, only to be discovered the following morning, his severed head impaled on a tree outside the cabin. Terrified and completely isolated by the storm, Krista finds herself trapped with 8 total strangers. One of them kills for sport, and they're far from finished. As the storm grows more dangerous and the number of survivors dwindles, one by one, Krista must decide who she can trust before the frozen mountain becomes her tomb. I'm keeping that on there because I think it sounds so fascinating. I think it's going to scare the shit out of me, but I think it sounds good. Nocticadia, I've heard such good things about this book recently. Keeping it. I don't actually know what it's about. I do know it's a dark romance, but it sounds good. Misfits and Mistletoe. That's been recommended to me about 3,000 times over the past month, so maybe I'll get to it this Christmas. We'll keep it. Only a Monster. Who are you? What are you? At the End, There Was You. I'm gonna keep that on there because I remember when someone recommended that to me and they sounded really excited about it. Okay, I'm gonna remove this because that is a dystopian book. I have too many dystopian books on my shelf to read. So, same with Legend. I know that's a dystopian novel. And I wish I would have read Legend when I was a teenager. Collateral, Who Are You? What Are You? Is this guy Satan? This summary makes no sense to me. Oh, it's getting good reviews. I'm gonna keep it because the reviews look good. The Raven Boys, that was recommended to me back in November. I'm gonna keep it. Embrace, this was also recommended to me. Actually, I think the rest of these were recommended to me on Instagram. I'm gonna keep the rest of these on here. I don't exactly know what they are. And that leaves a total of 78 books now on my Goodreads TBR.